Chapter 10. Welcome back to my channel as we review and discuss my best-selling book, Addicted to Being Broke. Let's talk about eradicating the poverty mindset. We're now in chapter 10. As well as sort of a recap of the book, I go into topics that are close to my heart. So first of all, I write about the opening. So the opening of the book, we spoke about the topping up the electricity. So I just write about the changes that I've made with regards to that. Then I go on to write about the savings. So I believe it was like 22% of UK adults had less than £100 in savings. So I go on to write about it's nice to not be part of that 22% anymore. But also, when I was writing this book towards the end, it was the COVID-19 pandemic. So a lot of people became broke for the first time in their lives, and a lot of people became very rich. So it's just touching on the concept that things can happen very quickly to determine how your income or your money is being used or being sustained. So it's so important to try and keep an eye on everything that's happening around you, even just current affairs, just to know what you need to know when it comes to where your money is coming from. I write about poverty. So not all poverty is just to do with money, but a lot of it, money is in the center of it. And it's not just mindset. Some of it is just the environment that you're in, and becoming a product of your environment. It's a bit difficult to just change your mindset. So I understand that it's not as easy to just change your mindset and then start living a whole different life depending on your environment, but it is still your responsibility to look at ways to improve your own life. Taking accountability for that, just making sure that you're doing the best that you can in the situation that you're in. Because the situation I was in, I could have easily just said, no, this is my situation, this is how things go, there's nothing I can do about it. But I decided to have a different outlook and say, this is my situation, but this is not what I want it to be. So I'm going to find out what can I do to make my situation better. And that's taking that accountability and taking the responsibility into my own hands and believing that I've been granted the strength, the knowledge, the wisdom to achieve better. So how do I go about it? And through writing this book, I kept on questioning myself, like, why are you writing this book now? Why do you not wait until you're a millionaire to write this book? Because then it would mean so much more. People will be like, oh my gosh, yeah, she was really broke, but now she's rich. But I had to constantly keep reminding myself, it's not about the money. It's not about the amount. It's just about the subject itself. The lack, the living in lack, the not understanding how money works, the financial literacy. So it's just the understanding that if you don't have the understanding, you need to gain the understanding. So that was the main aim of the book. So therefore, whether I wrote it when I'm super rich or when I'm super broke, it didn't make a difference. The fact of the matter is understanding, or being at a place of understanding that I now have more knowledge with regards to this topic. And as well, it's the journey. The journey is important. The journey is where learning, adjusting, creating, being able to think outside the box, all these things happen on your journey to your destination. So I really just wanted to capture that and just celebrate it for what it is. There's a great quote that I refer to in the book, which is, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And this is basically saying that it's not good enough to just constantly be in a place to just receive. Let's say if it's money that you want, you just receive money, you just get money, you borrow money, rather than finding out how you can make money. So whether it's through employment, whether it's through your business, you're finding a way that you can now give this to yourself. And that way you can continue to expand on that way of receiving that money and finding better ways to receive that money rather than constantly waiting to just be given it. So teach a man to fish. Teach people the knowledge. Once we have the knowledge, it's beneficial to us because we can do so much more with the knowledge. And it's not just for us, it's for our children, our children's children, allowing the knowledge to continue to grow as generations come. I write about taking regular holidays. Taking regular holidays is such an important part of my life, because going on holidays or taking short breaks, I realize that you actually get an opportunity to take a break from your day-to-day life. And it's not to say that your day-to-day life is not good or it's not exciting, there's nothing. No, it's just to get you outside of your box so you can see your box from the outside. You can see your life from the outside, and then you can think, what needs to be changed? What needs to be adjusted slightly? And for me, my experience, I found it's only when I take a break that I'm able to then take a minute and actually be like, okay, so am I going on the right track? Are the things that I'm doing helping me? Are the things that I'm doing going towards the direction that I want to go in the future? Is it taking me towards my future goals? Obviously, the topic of this chapter is like 0 to 100s, and it's like £0 to £100. And so where do you go with £100? It's not about that money, but you can sort of save up a different pots throughout the year to allow you to go to a small break, or you can find ways that you can pay it in like small parts without paying any interest on it. So you're just paying exactly what you'd pay, but it's broken down into smaller parts. But the main thing is understanding your own life situation, your own circumstances, and fitting that within it. It's not about spending extravagant amount of money to do a big holiday that you can't afford. There's no point, because you're going to go and enjoy it, and you're going to come back and you're going to be trying to catch up with your finances. Even though the memories would be great, the problems after is just not worth it. So plan properly so that you actually go and do something that you enjoy, you can afford, and you come back and you continue to build more for the future or for your next getaway. I want to write about passive income. I've mentioned it previously in the book, but passive income is basically described or defined as something that you do, you invest in. So it could be a property that you invest in, it could be a course that you invest in, but you do this thing the one time and then it keeps bringing you money. But you only did the thing the once. So you only bought the house the once, and then you had tenants come in it, they live in it, and then that one house that you bought keeps bringing you money. You don't have to buy the house every month, but each month it still brings you money. So you create a course. You spend hours, maybe sometimes money to create your course. The course is there, and people just come and buy the course. So the course is there. So that money that you're getting is passive, because you don't have to do that course every time somebody requests for it. So I have a course on Udemy, and I've helped over 1,000 students with their personal development. It's a quick course, very affordable, and it really helps people to just get going with their personal development, their personal growth, setting goals, and understanding the benefit of setting goals, or just getting your mind right to allow you to work out what your next right move is. Do check it out. I'll leave the link below. I've also got the book that's available on Amazon. That's another passive income for me. So you're able to go on Amazon and order the book. I wrote the book once, but it continues to sell. People continue to buy it, and I get money from that. So the aim is to get to a place where you've got a number of passive income, and financial freedom is created when you have enough passive income to cover all your outgoings. So and plus more. So you get to a place where you're earning enough money to cover your household, let's say your living expenses, your entertainments, like going on holidays, things like that, without having to work. That's when you reach that financial freedom. And that is the aim, because as I said, we don't want to continuously work hard. And even if you do work hard, like physically hard, mentally hard, it's only sustainable for a number of years. When you get to your 60, your 70, your 80, your 90, you're not able to do that same amount of work that you were able to do in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. So it's so important to create that passive income so that your future self will be so grateful that you're able to receive this money from all these different places, but not having to constantly go out and work for it. So work smarter and not harder to find ways to create that passive income. And there's so much information out there. Once again, I say the internet can be your best friend. There's information overload. But what I would say from my own experience of trying different things is find something that you're passionate about, because that will allow you to stick with it for the longest time. If it's something that you're not passionate about, you will get annoyed when it's not working out. There's so many businesses that I have bought or I have started, and although I was excited at the time, the passion was maybe not there, and I did not carry it on when times got hard. I go on to write about children are very expensive. Children are a blessing, but at the same time, to be responsible, you need to be aware of how much it costs. At the time of me writing the book, it was around 185,000 that it cost to raise a child from 0 to 18 in the UK for single parent households. And I think it was about £155,000 for couples. But that has gone up since then. And it goes up quite a lot for single parent households mostly. So it's so important to think about, if you have children now, if you're planning to have children, and this is obviously not an amount that you need straight away, but it's an amount that is going to cost. And this obviously includes the housing, the food, the education, if you're doing like after school clubs and things like that because you're working, clothing, just the list goes on. As I said, activities, if you want them to go swimming, I talk about in the book my experience. I remember one time, because I didn't know how to swim when I was younger, we went on a trip to Isle of Wight, and at the time I was so scared. We were on the ferry and I was just so scared to go near the edge in case I fall in the sea. But the truth is, my fear was there because I didn't know how to swim. So I made sure that I was able to take my children to swimming lessons so that they can learn to swim, so that they don't have the same fear that I did. And to me, this is part of parenting. This is an important part of parenting, to make sure that we're looking at how we can give them better experiences, how we can allow them to overcome some of the mistakes that we made or some of the issues that we had to go through. And one of them, leading me to writing this book, is that financial literacy, understanding money a bit more and allowing them to be at a better place of managing their money from a younger age. So I was doing this thing where I was giving pocket money. Before, I'd give them weekly pocket money, £10 here, £10 there, £15 there. But I thought I'd start giving them like in a month lump sum and allow them to manage that themselves. And that's something that is allowing them to learn to manage their money. Because when I was going to school, I would get like sort of the money every morning. I don't even think it was like a whole week, or maybe if it's the whole week, I'll probably use it on the first day. So my management and awareness, it was just not there. And that's something that I wanted to change for them. And I go on to talk about speaking positively to your children and about your children. I'll just read a quick paragraph here that says, speak positively to and for your children. Use kind words. There's power in words, and some words live longer than expected. Children can be a little challenging sometimes, so try to have the patience to help them learn and grow and understand that making mistakes is part of life and that nobody is perfect. So I think sometimes we can want to parent our children how we were parented, but not understanding that yes, there's some things that are really good, but there's also some things that wouldn't work now because we just live in such a different time. So being able to have that wisdom, that knowledge to help you become a better parent, looking for ways constantly to help you become a better parent, is only going to be for your benefit and your children's benefit. So chapter 10 is going to be in 2 parts. This is part 1 of chapter 10. As always, if you've got any comments, do leave them below and we can get into a discussion about them. I will see you on my next video, which will be part 2 of chapter 10.